It's time now for Culture. Normally on a Wednesday, Lisa's here with films, but she's not here this week. So instead, we're going to start off with some big news in books. The Man Booker Prize goes to the historical fiction sequel, Bringing Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel. Now, she's the first Briton and the first woman to win the award twice. She won in 2009 for the first part of her blood-soaked Tudor saga Wolf Hall about the rise of the Chief Minister to King Henry VIII, Thomas Cromwell.
I remember in 2009, someone said, "Do you realise that tonight you're the best writer in the world?" And I thought, oh, how absurd, you know. It is not the Olympics. It's not a competition. You are only as good as your last paragraph. And I haven't even written one of those today.
Hilary Mantel there. Now, do you remember the films Splash, Weird Science and My Fair Lady, where the male characters get to create their fantasy girl? Well, in a new movie called Ruby Sparks, the idea, well, it's turned on its head and we discover how the dream girl feels. It's directed by the makers of Little Miss Sunshine, that's Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Faris, and the main characters are played by real-life couple Paul Dano and Zoe Kazan. She also wrote the script. Well, France 24's culture editor, Eve Jackson, has been to meet them.
Why do you think you're not writing?
I don't know. I get a good idea, and then, bam, I start thinking that is the stupidest thing ever.
Tell me about it.
Ruby Sparks is about a novelist played by Paul Dano who had one major success about 10 years ago and hasn't really been able to follow up.
Ruby Sparks, 26 years old, raised in Dayton, Ohio.
Why Dayton?
Sounds romantic. Ruby got kicked out of high school for sleeping with her art teacher, or maybe her Spanish teacher. I haven't decided. He has writer's block, and he's rather lonely. Luckily, he has a dream about a girl, and he wakes up and has found his inspiration and starts to write about her and starts to fall in love with the character he's writing.
You found something that inspires you.
One day he wakes up and she's in his house and he thinks he's going crazy, so he goes out into the world to try to dispel this notion, and instead everyone else can see her and she's completely real. So he embarks on a real relationship with an imaginary person, essentially.
I missed you in bed last night. Did you get some good writing done?
I was walking home from work one night and I saw a mannequin in a dumpster and I thought it was real and it scared me. And so I suddenly thought of the Pygmalion myth of the sculptor making his statue, and I thought, what would I write if I was going to write about that? And woke up the next morning with the seeds of this in my head.
Can you see her? She's real. Ruby!
What is going on with you?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Kiss me, Sue.
So she had the idea for the story and the characters first, and then we decided we could do this together. And I just tried to be a good bounce board and give good feedback, but also just be a good boyfriend and, you know, support her while she was writing. Me, it's like I'm falling in love with her. That's wonderful. I can't fall in love with the girl I write. Why not? Because she's not real.
You and Paul are actually a couple in real life.
Yeah.
How did that affect your relationship, working on set in a relationship?
Well, I think it allowed us to go very deeply into our work, which is always fun, just because we both were involved in the project and both equally excited about it. But, you know, we'd worked together twice before, so it didn't feel so strange. It should have felt stranger than it actually did.
I do think scenes where you're in love, or you have to kiss, or that, you know, for me, that's definitely better and easier with Zoe than anybody else. And then, you know, I can't say it was without its challenges, and I'm sure, you know, there were little domestic things that, after a 14-hour day, you know, take on a heavier weight than normal. But I think it was more a joy than anything to get to share this crazy experience together.
Write something about her and see if it comes true. If it does, this is a miracle.
Papa, Ellie, bon appetit.
That was insane! You manifested a woman with your mind.
You can make her do anything you want. For men everywhere, tell me you're not going to let that go to waste.
Would it work the other way around? Because we've heard about this story lots of different ways where the guy is creating the woman. Would it work with the woman creating the man? Is that something that we want?
You know, I'm sure there is a version of that story for me, that's so much less my experience of being in a relationship. I think that there's a reason that the myth has come to us in this gendered way with a male creator and a female object. I feel like my experience and the experience of my girlfriends has been so much more of feeling put on a pedestal, or that there was some ideal of womanhood or femininity that we were supposed to be living up to, than, you know, I think for men, there is obviously this sort of square jaw male ideal, but I think it's much less culturally potent.
She's so cute. Your dog. She's so cute.
He's a boy dog.
She just peed like a girl.
Do you think if you could secretly have Calvin's power to control the person that you were with and make little changes to them, would you do it?
No, I mean, if you've seen the movie, I hope I've learned my lesson and exercised that demon somewhere else.
Ruby, wait, listen to me. Whoa, oh, Ruby, wait, please. Please listen to me. Listen to me, calm down. I'm sorry. Ruby, listen to me.
As tempting as it would be to try to make someone exactly as you would want them, ultimately I don't think that any of us should have that power.
What would your ideal man be?
Well, I guess it's Paul, you know. We've been together almost 5 years, so I hope it's Paul.
Hey, Callie!
Calvin!
Let's go!
What's your ideal woman?
You met her.
This is the true and impossible story of my very great love, Ruby Sparks. You may see this and think it's magic.
Hi, Ruby. Hi.
But falling in love is an act of magic.
You don't know jack about women.
I know Ruby. I wrote her.
Just don't tell me how it ends, okay?
I won't. I promise.
Yeah, Paul and Zoe, their romantic stuff. The two main characters in Ruby Sparks could be worth a watch. That's today's culture here on France 24. Stay with us.